This is the story of two people on separate journeys of self-discovery whose lives would change with a single elevator ride.
But sometimes destiny intervenes in ways you would never imagine. Join us for a story of timing, chance, and the powerful pull of destiny that proves sometimes love finds you exactly when you're ready. Hi guys.
Hey guys, what's up?
Welcome back to our podcast. This is a Raw Painting Podcast. I'm Tom, and this is my wife Mallory.
Hi.
We got a video today for you guys. All right, so we kind of want to do a little backdrop on another video that we've done. And basically, it's about searching for love. We'll post it right here. But it's basically a true life, real story of how we met and how we believe that destiny is a huge part of why we're here, why we have two kids together and a beautiful family. But, you know, it all happened kind of in a mysterious way, I would say.
Which is why we think that if you haven't watched the previous video, you definitely want to watch that one first, because that one will bring all of this together into now.
But now we're kind of talking about destiny in a similar way of how, a simple elevator ride changed our lives forever. And so, we're here to tell your story. All right, so we met it in the summer of 2018. And just
August to be exact.
Yes, August. Yes. And our birthday months.
Our birthday months, yeah.
We have the same birthday month and same year. So anyways, she's much older than me.
Why do you always bring that up? It's 8 days. 8 days.
No, I want people to know that you're, a bit of a cougar.
A cougar. It'll definitely show later in life when you still look like this, and I'm gonna look like,
oh my goodness,
really old.
The Asian cliff. I don't know if people are familiar with Asian people, but apparently we don't age till we're like 75, and all of a sudden just like tanks.
But I'll start aging way before then. So
yeah, exactly.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. But anyways, back to our story. So we went in 2018 in the summertime, and it's basically just in a giant kind of like, what the heck?
It's a huge ball of coincidences.
Yeah,
like,
it makes
the timing.
You don't want to say it's kind of like a movie, but it's almost like a movie in many, many ways. And so I'll go back in those times. I'll try to.
This is basically like a movie that you only hear in movies, right? Like these are the stories that you only hear in movies.
So I actually had just begun my journey into real estate. I was like a very, very fresh realtor. I remember bringing donuts into the office like literally months prior, and just to please everybody. And I had actually sold my very first house with my very first client. And so I'm like super excited. And I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm going to go all out for this guy. I'm going to get bottom line. And some other gifts. But, woo.
Spending half your paycheck on that, are you?
Oh, for sure. Yes. No, it was, I was just over the moon. It was just like, yes, like I made it. Let's go. So anyways, I was going into this building that he works at, and he's on the 6th floor. And so you have to take an elevator ride up. And I ain't walking. Like I'm done working out like some that week, but I'm not walking. So I went into one of the elevators. I went in, pressed some buttons, waited for a little bit, and just like nothing. It didn't move. The door didn't close. So obviously I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess it doesn't work. So I hopped out with my stuff into another elevator. And all of a sudden, this group of ladies and one guy had just finished her lunch. And
I love how you're like pointing at me like I'm the guy. Like, no.
He's actually a friend of ours.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny. And he probably, he knows he was there from day one as well. So the group of ladies came in, and then they just all crammed in the elevator. And this was all of us in this, kind of small elevator. And I just like said something, cracked a joke probably. And that one joke and that one elevator ride just kind of changed everything. Do you remember like that kind of like specific time at that time?
All right, this is a prime example of me saying that Tom always tells our story incorrectly. So Tom actually was outside of the elevator waiting for the next one to come, because let me tell you, these elevators are super slow. They always break down. Something is always going on with them. So me and two of my friends, a male and a female, come, and we were actually just coming back from lunch, which it wasn't around 1, it was around 12:40. which is
Yes.
also kind of a rare time for us to kind of come back because we always have 12 to 1 lunches.
So you guys are after one kind of people. Eh?
I know I am. Like a few minutes late is fine.
1 p.m. is when you leave the restaurant.
Exactly. Anyways, and so you were like, yeah, like I was just in this elevator and it didn't go. And then I made the joke. Tom didn't
What?
crack no joke. I was like,
Hey.
yeah, I was like, these elevators are pretty sketchy, so don't worry, this one should work for
Actually,
you.
no, I remember saying, don't go into that elevator because it's broken or something. But in a
Right.
very...
And then I was like, yeah, I was like, that happens all the time. Yeah, we didn't crack no joke.
What? No. I thought-
Yeah, no, I remember telling you, I was like, it's not uncommon for these elevators to like crap out.
I'm pretty sure I said like, no, don't go to that elevator because it's broken. And then everyone you laughed.
Definitely not.
I don't know, someone laughed. Just me. It was awkward.
No one laughed.
Okay, all right.
Or maybe if anything, we were probably laughing about the fact that like, yeah,
Right.
this is always
always
happening.
Oh,
like,
okay.
and the fact that you just were just so dumbfounded by it, we were just probably
Right.
like thought that was humorous.
Right, because you guys really had this
Yeah.
everyday thing. So.
Yeah. And then so we got in the elevator all together.
Yep.
And yeah, we just kind of had like small chit chat, you and I kind of thing. And yeah, and then I was like, I wonder where are you going?
Yeah.
So funny thing is like my work at the time had the top floor 6 and 5. And so Tom got off at the 6th floor, which is funny because again, our doors don't open till 1. So I was like, who is he meeting? Because like you're gonna go up there and like you're just gonna have to wait for 20 minutes. And yeah, so that was pretty funny. But we got off at 5.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was I was like, huh, I need to find out who this hot Asian is meeting. I literally said that. I'm like, dang, who's that hot Asian?
Still hot.
Yeah.
So anyways, they went off on the 5th floor and then I had to go on the 6th floor. And so, did my deeds, gave the present, super happy, everyone's happy.
Was he like, whoa, this like drop dollar bill on this wine bottle?
Yeah,
or...
pretty much. He was like, I don't even drink wine.
There's the joke.
So
Anyway.
honestly, that they kind of went, and of course, I didn't expect anything of it. And so I think it was like, I don't know how many days
All right.
after.
Okay, well, let's pause
Okay.
on you.
Okay, all right.
We'll jump to me now.
Okay, all right.
I was determined, let me tell you. I'm like, I need to find out who this guy met and if he is single because like, yeah, it sounds like I was desperate. We're not going to use those words, but I was really like
Really, eh?
I was going to go after this person that I was curious about.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah. So
I
was
wonder,
like,
what's about me? Like,
well,
do you
yeah,
remember, like, what?
I don't know.
It was just like an urge? Like, it's like something was pushing you?
Yeah, I was just
And, like, do you
huh,
normally
like
do this kind of thing? Like, is this something
I felt like
pursue guy?
well, I hadn't a lot in the past,
Okay.
but there was moments where I was like, I'm going to try this and see if it works out for me.
Right.
But I didn't do it often by any means. Like I was never somebody to chase after men in those days. But
As you shouldn't.
yeah. Yeah, no. So I literally had our friend go up and ask like who this guy was meeting. So he did some investigating for me. So yeah, so he found out who it was. And so I'm immediately on the email like, hey, as my subject. I wish I know I saved the emails, but then they somehow got deleted and I'm really like sad about it.
Right.
So, because I really wanted to keep those as memories. Yeah. So I went back and forth with my coworker and I was like, listen, like I will give you my Frosty in exchange for information.
Damn, I'm high.
I'm
target
you're a hot
here.
commodity because like me giving up a sweet at the time was not a thing.
No,
and he was like,
still
yeah, I'll pass on the frost.
I don't like wine or like Frosties.
Who is this guy? But anyways, and so he graciously was like, and here's the kicker. He's like, yeah, I'll give his number to you. And I was like, immediately, I was like, no. Like, no, I wanted you to give my number to him so that he could have the ball in his court to talk to me.
Yeah.
So I was really upset about that.
Oh.
So then I'm sitting with this number and I sit and I sit.
How long?
And I
How
sit.
long? Do you
It was
remember how long?
probably about 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember I waited a while to like communicate with you. Because I was like, well, I don't want to like
Right after.
text you immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, do I call? Do I text? Like, you know, those days. You just,
Yeah,
you don't know what
it's a
the
huge
right answer is.
dilemma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just sat on it, and I remember going for coffee with my friend Kelsey, who was in the previous photo that was in our previous video. And she literally like talked me into it, actually. She was
really?
like, because I was like, you know, like I was hoping that he would be the one to reach out. So I'm like, I'm not even going to bother.
Oh.
Yeah. And she was like, why? Just go for it. I'm like, yeah. Okay. So yeah, I ended up texting you. I didn't call. I'm one of those people.
Interesting.
I texted.
Right when you said that, like a memory of like you texting me kind of popped up. I'm sure we have those messages still because we have all of our old phones, I think. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we still have it.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know, maybe, but I remember seeing that from you, a text pop up from you. I remember you were like, hey, like I'm one of the girls from the elevator thingies. And
Yeah.
then, yeah.
I was like, hey, don't know if you remember me.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. So that was how the message turned out. And then Tom's like, oh yeah, I totally remember you. Nah, he didn't. He did. And I bug you about it all the time. I was like, you say that you remember, and you were like, oh yeah, I totally know who you were.
No,
but
there was a taller, a blonde lady.
Yeah, you knew
in the
that.
elevator.
It's like I knew you were the tall, like long-haired blonde girl.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, guys, just want to take a brief moment and just want to say thank you so much for watching our video. We love talking about subject of growth, family, and just, I don't know, like just life in general. And so if you like what you see, please like and subscribe because we're going to keep pumping out these videos. So stay tuned. Now back to our video. Oh yeah, I had received a text message and, you know, I'm playing my game, you know, I'm spending my game. I'm spending my game out. You know, it's like, yeah, I don't need you, but I kind of need you. So, you know, I think we're texting back and forth, and then I think
we were kind of like getting to know each other a little bit.
I don't know what exactly we text about, but just probably, you know, kind of like normal stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to, you know, of course, set up a date at some point, and then I remember texting you this joke. And I
wait till you hear the joke.
Oh, anyways, I think you were. What were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about a time to get together,
yes.
Right.
And
then it was right around our birthdays, like we mentioned. Mm-hmm. And so I think my birthday had just passed.
Yes.
And you were literally like, oh, yeah, my birthday is coming up.
Yes. Do you want to do it? And then we set up a date on that day.
On that day. And I was like, but wait, isn't it your birthday? Like, don't you want to do something? And you're like, oh, yeah, maybe I should check with my mom about supper. Okay. Oh, yeah. That's not the good part though. Wait for it.
So I think I sent you a text jokingly about my age.
Yeah, because we were talking like, oh, yeah. Like, how old did you turn?
Exactly, because we're in our mid-20s at that point, and I think I was just like teasing you that I was like 21 or something like that.
Yeah. So hilarious. So in Tom's mind, for somebody who I've never met in person, he thinks automatically that I'm going to understand.
Just laugh
this joke. Yeah. So you're probably over there like,
yeah.
Like,
and
I'm going to get her with this joke.
Yes. I think I remembered texting you that on like a Friday, actually. And then just silence.
Yeah.
Nothing for the entire Friday. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's busy. You know, maybe it's just, I just got to wait a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And then Saturday comes, wake up, check my phone, still nothing. And of course, like, you know, that's all I'm thinking about for that day. I'm like, why don't she text me back? But maybe she's gone on vacation or something. Maybe she's wanting to hike and she's too busy. So I'll give you another day. I don't want to seem too desperate, right? You don't want to seem too desperate whenever you text somebody.
So on my end, immediately I'm like, why would this person lie about their age? Okay. Now, I was I had gotten out of that relationship and I was like, I am here for no games. I don't like lying. Like, lying is a huge thing for me. I don't like it. It was a trauma from my previous relationship. So, yeah, it was just like a whole bunch of things. And I'm like, why would you lie about something so significant?
So significant.
Your age is significant.
But you knew how old I was, didn't
you?
I
didn't know because my coworker said, he was like, yeah, I think he's in his like, how old were we? Mid-20s?
Yeah, we're mid-20s.
And so I like kind of had an idea of how old you were, but then when you said like, oh, I'm turning 21, I'm like, what the frick?
Oh, that's a great joke. That's how you spit game, guys.
Don't learn from this guy. And so in my mind, I'm just like, like either A, you're too young for me then if you're turning 21 and I don't have time for like immature boys.
Just finish up school.
Yeah. And so I'm just like, I was like, you know what? Nah. And so I remember because my mom, I had told her about this whole thing and she's like, so what's happening? Like, are you guys getting together? And I was like, well, no. I was like, he lied about his age. And like her and my cousin were just like, Mal, like, are you serious? And I remember them like really trying to talk me like, you need to get over that. Like he was probably just playing a joke and like it's not a big deal.
They get it.
Yeah.
Like a normal person.
I know. I definitely took it above and beyond. So a quick little recap as well from our previous video. Like we had to do a lot of growing, but as you can see, I still had a lot of growing to do when Tom and I met. That aside, I was just like, I wasn't here for it, you know? I was just like, yeah, no, I don't got time for that. I don't want to play these games if that's what's going to happen. You know, if you're going to be like that on a regular basis and like, I'm actually going to know a bunch of things about you.
Like, I haven't met you yet and you're like,
exactly. And you're already saying, and that was the thing. I'm like, you know, like we don't even know each other. I don't know your sense of humor. Like I didn't know any of that stuff. So for me, I was just like, meh. And you know, text messages, you can interpret it in any tone, any way you want.
Yeah. This text message too, did you read it and be like, Mal, come on?
Well, and I don't really recall. I just recall them giving me a hard time about my reaction about it.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure they did probably read it, but yeah, it was just like, Mal,
please,
what are you doing? Like, give them a chance. And then I was like, okay. And I was like, I'll think about it. And I don't know why, but for some reason I was sleeping. In the afternoon.
I remember, is this on a Sunday actually? I remember.
Was it a Sunday?
I'm pretty sure it was on a Sunday.
See, and I think it was a Friday when we like didn't connect for a couple days.
Yeah?
Because here's why.
Okay.
So I think it was a Friday because like I was probably like really burnt out from work for the week. And so I was like, I really wanted to take a nap. And so I slept when I got home kind of thing, like in the evening or early afternoon or whatever. And actually, Tom had called me.
Yeah, I remember. Again,
and I didn't answer. I didn't answer the phone because I was sleeping.
I want to call you again. It was like because like this deep urge. I didn't want to lose you for some reason.
Even though you only knew me as the tall blonde.
Yeah, I just remember. I know it was weird. Like I remember, like I should really call her and see what is going on because like it's already Sunday after or whatever, something afternoon. Yeah, it was almost like just like kind of like the end of the day. You know, you should have like just at least texted me at least by now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so it was just a strong urge to call you, and I called and
I didn't answer.
Did I leave a message? Do you remember a voicemail?
I don't remember. I think you might have texted me after.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember.
I think that leave a voicemail.
You might have left me a voicemail. Yeah, but I don't know because
I don't know. Anyways, okay. So yeah, I called you and you didn't pick up. What the heck were you doing?
Literally, I was sleeping. Like I know that sounds like the worst excuse, but I remember I was literally taking a nap and I woke up and I was like, what the frick? I'm like, this guy called me. Yeah. And I remember being so taken aback by that because I was like, not many men will call a girl.
Oh.
So that to me was actually like a good sign on your part. Yeah, because I was like, oh, like he's actually that serious about this.
Yeah.
That he's going to call me and make that effort.
Right.
And then I remember telling my mom and cousin, I was like, he like called me and they're like, oh my God, Mal, like, you know, anyways, all that aside. But yeah, I remember being impressed with the fact that you called.
Okay,
yeah.
Good, perfect. No, yeah, I just want to call you.
Yeah.
And then what happened after that? Do you remember?
So then after that, I think I had told you, like, I was like, listen,
yeah.
I get that you said it as a joke, whatever.
Right, so I was trying to explain myself.
Yeah, you were trying to, so we kind of like fixed that little bump there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, like I'm willing to give this another chance.
So yeah, we had booked a date. We had scheduled a date. And then we were going to mini golfing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was what we decided.
Yeah, it was what we decided. It was something casual.
Well, actually, yeah, like you recommended it and I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, something casual, not too serious. And
a little bit of fun.
A little bit of fun. And you know, if the date sucks, then you guys can both separate this kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I remembered we had a lot of fun on the mini golf.
Yeah. Okay, so hold on. I want to talk about my first, our first meet again.
Oh, right. Let's talk about that.
So I remember I was standing there waiting. So our mini golf is attached to one of our movie theaters. And so I was like kind of waiting in the movie theater area and just like waiting for you. Yeah, like I remember being super nervous, but trying to act cool, you know? And then I just remember you walked in and you had a black shirt on And I just like, I saw your tattoo on your arm for the first
Mm.
time. And I was just like, man, like, I just thought you were like the hottest guy I have ever seen. Like, I'm not even joking. I was like, dang, like, yeah, I just thought you were super attractive. And I was just like so nervous about it. And I saw your tattoo and I was like, dang, like, I think tattoos are pretty attractive too. But you also were not my typical type that I go for. Like, I've only ever dated white guys. And so it was just like a huge change for me in like such a good way. So yeah, so my first impression, and like you came and I was just like, oh, like you just looked so good, so confident, and you were just
Mm.
like so nonchalant, and you're like, hey, and I'm like, hey. So what was your first impression of me? Like, did you okay, here was the other thing. I was
Yeah.
like, I wonder if he's actually gonna know like who I am, and like are you just gonna like walk past me and like
Yeah, it's like,
that was the other thing, like because I had a feeling I was like,
Yeah.
he probably doesn't remember what I look like.
yeah, for sure.
And so I was curious as to whether or not you would pick me out right away or not.
Yeah, no, I definitely recognize you because I remember you were kind of leaning against the wall of like where the movie signs are.
Yeah.
You were standing over there, and I think you were in like some sort of like high heels ish, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And my first impression of you, which I feel like I know that people say that you're not supposed to like, like attract, like I don't know, talk about physical things. I feel like it's a very like kind of like hush hush topic these days. And Love Is Blind, like kind of blew up that like like screw the physical thing and talk about the emotional connection. But to me, I was like, yeah, when I first saw you as well, physically, I was like, oh, that's a smoke show. Like I was like, oh boy, this is like the hottest chick I've ever seen.
That's so sweet. I looked a lot better back in the day, guys. I swear.
Yeah, like
I
you
wore
just
heels
look.
back then. Okay.
I mean, as the English people say, you look very fit,
So fit.
just so bloody fit. The band art was unreal.
I love it.
Yeah, like it was just you were just absolutely gorgeous, stunning, beautiful, and I just couldn't wait to go mini golfing.
Are you
with
just saying that because I said that about you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, like very, very gorgeous.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, after we kind of said hi, and then we went mini golfing.
Yeah.
And
it was never awkward. Did you feel like it
No.
was
No,
awkward? That was
no.
the one thing that you kind of test out, like how
Exactly.
awkward is this gonna be?
And again, like it's back to the banter thing, right? Like the
Mhm.
bantering was great. Like it was like we were just doing this thing that's like so like nonchalant. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It wasn't like too focused on each other. We're just like bombarding each other with questions. But it was like it was fun. We made it competitive.
Yeah.
We teased each other tons.
We did,
And
yeah.
we're both competitive people, so that made
Yeah.
it even more fun.
And also, like, as a female, there's lots of things that you don't want to do on a first date that's like awkward, like bowling. Like, you don't want someone looking at your booty when you're like, or you're like your stance of like
Rock
how you
climbing,
bowl,
or,
rock
like-
climbing.
yeah. I mean,
or,
some
like-
typical first dates, right? Let's talk about that as
Yeah.
well. Like coffee dates, like please.
Yeah,
I
because then
mean,
you have too much eye contact and you like have
Way
no
too
choice
much.
but to look at the person, and that's just like too much pressure.
too much pressure. Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing
so-
worse than feeling awkwardness on first dates.
Like, we have lots of opinions on first dates.
Yeah,
Which maybe if everyone's interested, we could do a video on that.
yeah. we do.
But yeah, it's just so funny. Anyways, yeah, so that was definitely something that it was a really good release of the pressure.
yes,
to
it
do mini
really
golf.
was. Yeah, it was just like tease, talk about some stuff, but nothing too heavy. Anyways, had tons of fun at golf, and then afterwards.
Loser had to buy frozen
Oh
yogurt,
yes, that was the bet. Loser
Yeah.
had to buy frozen yogurt,
which
I'm
was
pretty
also
sure-
right inside the same building.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I won. So I think.
Yeah, you did. You should have let me win though. Like, isn't that kind of how it goes?
No, because then I don't know.
Is
I don't
that
think so.
being too feminist of me?
Yeah, I think crush your competition
Yeah, of course.
at all times.
Yeah, and I think I appreciated that too. That
Yeah.
you just didn't take it easy on me. Like, you weren't
Challenge.
that guy,
I was gonna challenge you.
Yeah, exactly. We were just actually having fun.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, you wouldn't like it if I let you win because you would be like,
I know, I'd be like, you let me win.
exactly.
You know?
Now what? Like,
Yeah.
so guys, just beat the girl.
Yeah.
Always. Just crush it.
take her friggin' dignity, okay?
Exactly. So yeah, it went great. What happened after?
Mhm. So then obviously, you won and I had to buy frozen yogurt.
Mhm.
So we went and had
I
frozen
got
yogurt.
everything. That's okay.
And then like it was just going so well that we were like, so
Now
like
what?
how do you feel now? Like, are you wanting to
No.
like maybe do something else? Like, we can go for supper because what do you know? There's
What?
like a restaurant right right across the parking lot. So we
Yeah, there was
yeah.
also a wedding place. We got married in. No, I was kidding.
It's basically like Vegas, you know, you
It's
just go to a
basically,
chapel
yeah,
and
it's Vegas, Vegas.
yeah, no. So we were like, yeah, like, how are you feeling? Like, yeah. So we were both obviously feeling good vibes from the date,
Yes.
didn't want it to end. So we moved along to the restaurant, which was a East Indian cuisine
Yeah,
type.
great food.
It was.
Great food to eat if you're, just have a long night ahead of you.
And then it closed down. That's how great it
And it goes out. But yeah, all I remember from that restaurant was that's when we kind of got like a little bit more serious.
We did.
How many siblings do you have?
Family talk.
Family
and...
talks. What do you actually do?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. This and that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I feel like for a first date and we had a restaurant sit down, it's like it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was really good. We really got to know on a deeper level how like each other's like lives were and kind of like where we came from and this and that.
Exactly. We didn't talk about anything too serious, like any kid talks, like religious talks, political talks, stuff that you don't talk about in your first dates. And then, yeah, the dinner went great. So we were just like, okay, what do you want to do now?
It's like, are you tired? Do you want to go home?
Yeah.
And we're just like, we could go back to the movie place and watch a movie.
Yeah.
If you're still like into it kind of thing.
Do you remember what movie we watched?
Yeah, it was the Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah.
Crazy.
So the year that came out.
Seriously. Yeah, what a movie that we would have never really picked.
Yeah, very random, but like a little limited options.
But I think also we just want to pick something because we just don't want the date to end.
It's true.
Just like,
yeah.
just
it's
pick
like, what's
something.
The best option?
We don't really care.
So yeah, we picked a movie and then we had to like wait a little bit. Because the movie wasn't going to start for like half an hour, 40 minutes or whatever it was. So then we decided, we're like, okay, well, let's go for a walk and then come back.
Mm-hmm. So we walked, we just walked to a random playground. Mm-hmm. And then we were just, the playground thing was interesting because like, it kind of like brought us down into like little kids again. Because I think we were on the swing, we're pushing each other and we're just doing a bunch of like kid things. And then all of a sudden, I think we got really deep at that park.
Well, I think we started talking about like our values and our beliefs and like where we want to be in life and what we want to do and like where we see ourselves, like an interview. Where do you see yourself in like 5-10 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we did. We talked about kids.
And then, we talked about kids.
We talked about
how many kids do you want?
Yeah, marriage. Like, do you want to be married? Like, yes or no?
And like, how do you want to raise your kids even? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and then which led to like our political beliefs because that also impacts on like how you would raise your kids, right?
Well, and the other thing too is I think we talked about political, but then we also talked about the impact of having the same political views, because I remember you telling me that your family is very much one way, and then if you were to bring someone else that's the opposite, then you can foresee that's going to argue all the time. And I could definitely see that after being with your family, because it's I feel like they would definitely not like that.
Yeah, well, they would have really challenged you.
Yeah,
in a sense of like, here's all the facts and what's your rebuttal.
Yeah,
kind of thing, right? Yeah, what do you have?
Yeah.
So they definitely would, challenge you a lot.
And then, magically we had the same political view, which was crazy because at that time, that sort of view was very, kind of like, how do you say, like not popular?
Yeah.
Like, like
if people found out, they would be.
Yeah, like, people would almost look at you like, are you effing serious? Like, so it was, yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy that we had the same views on that.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you're like, do I have to like dance around this now? Like, it's always so awkward because you're like I don't, and if you're not the same way, then it could just be really bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, it depends too. Like, not everyone's like that. Like, some people can be together and be like completely different sides. But like for us, it was pretty important, especially for like raising kids. Like, how are you wanting to raise your kids? Because like that kind of has an impact on it.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that was definitely something. So glad that we were on the same page. We were on the same page with like a lot of things. I think I said I wanted 4 kids right from the get-go.
I was like, do you remember how many kids you want? I think you said 4 and I said 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was...
Did you say 2?
I'm pretty sure I said 2. I think I've always wanted 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely felt like before kids, I was like, pop out 4. Yeah,
whatever,
I could do
one
it.
after another. I don't care.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely wanted four. I love big families. I think it's
Yeah,
so great to
same. I love big
have that
family too.
like big family vibe.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we were kind of like, the fact that you even wanted kids was like a plus for me because I had
Mm,
been with people that were just like, oh, I don't want kids.
right.
And it's like, well, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. What do you want?
Yeah.
Just really
So
friends. Yeah.
for me, it was just like the fact that you wanted kids in general and like
Right.
the number could change, give or take. So
Yeah, I feel like both kind of like wanting kids on the same page, on the same path. It means a lot to us because that's the path that we were going to wanting to go on, right? And so
right.
it's a pretty big deal for us. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a huge undertaking to be a parent, right? And it's funny because like you talk about kids, like I said, I wanted four kids and then when you actually have them, like perception versus reality, right? It really puts into perspective
Yeah.
like having kids now versus like the mindset that you had before you had kids, which is really funny and interesting. But yeah, so no, we got on the same page with a lot of stuff.
Lost.
And this was our first date. And yeah, it just proved a lot because, we weren't old. Like we
No.
were like early mid 20s, right?
Mm.
We were saying.
Yep.
And I mean, at that point, it just proved to each other that like we weren't here for games. We weren't playing around. Like we wanted something
No,
serious.
Yeah, we were so ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was also really important because, you don't want to waste. And that was the thing. Like, I didn't want to waste a bunch of time, like, talking about like BS because, like, we both hate small talk.
Yeah, we really do.
So-
Yeah, nothing's changed.
Yeah, nothing's changed. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was very important to get all of that out.
Yeah.
And honestly, I always felt too, if I jumped the gun on conversations like that and people got scared of it, I'm like, then you're not for me and you're not mature enough to handle a simple conversation. So
true.
the fact that I was able to push those and vice versa, like
Yeah.
it was like a huge check mark
Yeah,
in both of
seriously.
our books.
Yeah, it really was. So yeah, the night was getting dark and time was getting close to the movie. So we went to watch the movie.
And we actually like held hands walking,
Yeah.
which was another indication. Like things slowly kept like
Yeah.
getting
Just,
deeper and
like,
deeper.
Crazy. And then yeah, the movie was good. Did we make out in the movie? I can't remember.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Just want to make sure.
Okay.
We did get popcorn, though, right?
We did get
Probably.
popcorn. I think we shared popcorn,
Did we share a
another
drink?
step.
And then, yeah, the movie ended. And so we were, kind of like that thing where you kind of walk out. Yeah, I walked you to your car, but then
Yeah.
it's like, now what? But in my head, I'm like, well, they went fairly well. I don't see why we can't continue to see each other.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I walked you to your car. And then, yeah, I think that's where we shared our first kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We did.
First peck. Yeah.
It was more than a peck, but less than a makeout. So It
Yeah.
was like that
It
perfect.
was like a classy sort of
Like I said, it was
like
it was able to be in public.
exactly. It's more like I'll save some for later kind of deal.
Right. Yeah. It's just like you leave them wanting more.
Exactly. I remember saying goodbye to you, opening your car and then you going in. And I remember like I was like so happy. And it was like this like flood of just happiness in my body. I didn't even know if I went to bed that night, but I was just remember in my car, I was like, wow, like holy smokes. That was just pure happiness.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so sweet. Yeah, I also remember it was a really good date. And I remember my mom I think she waited up for me and was like, how did it go? I'm like, I'm tired, ma'am.
She's like, no. Did you guys talk that night?
I think
Do you
we
remember?
did. I want to say
Just
we
did.
did, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, okay.
I feel like we did. And I explained how it went and that it went really well.
Yeah, that's basically our first date.
Yeah, our first our second interaction.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Well, third.
oh, sorry. Yeah, like with the date, the third.
And then yeah,
Yeah.
with the video that we mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah.
that'd be
So
our
definitely
third.
again, go back and watch our first video on this. So yeah, basically in our previous video, we had talked about like the kind of people we were when we interacted the very first time that we met, like how long ago? 13 years ago. And it's funny because like I said in that video, I'm like, I had no idea that you were ever like that
Yeah.
when I met you.
Yeah.
So like the person that you were before to when I met you, it was just like vastly different.
Yeah. I think how I described what I was back in 2012, if that guy was the same guy that also went on a date when we went in 2018, it would have been just a terrible date.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I just feel like that date would have been just like, I would be like going home and it's like, oh man, I wish I would have done this. I wouldn't have enough balls to do all the things I want to do and talk about all the things I want to talk about.
Yeah. And so like the person that I saw you as was like super confident, Like, I didn't see you as someone that was insecure. And like, I felt like you had like a lot of, not experience with women, but I felt like you had a good like way of communicating with people just in general, women or men. Yeah, like I thought you were a good communicator. I thought that you were like,
Probably fairly open about things, like just
yeah,
talk
you were
about
just,
anything. Because
yeah.
you mentioned your open book as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
so that was important.
Yeah, and it was just like sometimes I push a little too far, sometimes I ask too deep of questions, and people get scared of that. And yeah, we were not like that. And yeah, like those things really like attracted me to you. And so it's just so funny to think that that wasn't how you were before.
Yeah.
And then going even further, like you became like this super like selfless person. Like you did everything for me. Like you wanted to drive all the time. You wanted to like take me out on these awesome, amazing dates. We had so many fun dates after that. Like you were just like this person that was like constantly giving and like so generous. And again, like you weren't like that apparently years ago. So it's just
No.
very interesting. But that's how I saw you.
Yeah, and I think how I saw you was, I think the moment that you mentioned that you were a no gamer, like no playing games around, like that to me was a huge thing, because like that was exactly what I was looking for at the time. And so I just loved the maturity that you had, and I loved how you looked at the world, and I just love your sense of humor. It was amazing. It was just great. And it's like, yeah, I think even going back at a time, it's almost like I could see a little glimpse of like, wow, I could be with this person for like a really, really long time, if not forever, even
Yeah.
at that time.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. I definitely remember that feeling of like, this could be like
Yep.
my partner in life.
seriously.
You
it's
know,
just
like
something.
having those feelings. Yeah. Which
Yeah,
is so
it was
cool.
weird. I've never had that in my entire life,
Mhm.
where it was just like, I think this is like something's going on here.
Yeah.
I couldn't describe it.
Yeah. But then life gets the best of you sometimes and things kind of spiral in a negative way sometimes as well. But
Yeah, exactly. Which we'll leave for another podcast.
yeah,
Because this is getting too long already.
for sure. Those of you who have stuck around, thank you.